Hello again from the Crown Plaza Hotel in Manchester, and the second of our 7 programmes featuring the World 8-Ball Pool Championships. Now, if you're watching last night, and if you weren't, why not, you'll have seen a quite amazing match in the semi-final of the team event. England coming out on top. England coming out on top against France 14-11, but it was nip and tuck the whole way. Who will they meet in the final? Well, tonight we're going to find out. The second semi-final between Scotland and last year's runners-up, Australia. Now, the balls are racked on both tables. Let's join our commentator, Jim White.
Thank you, Simon. As you said, semi-final number 2. The Australian team versus Scotland. And I can tell you, I can't have a happier co-commentator in with me than Kevin Wright, a very relieved captain of the English side. And Kevin, it was a real battle, wasn't it?
Yes, it certainly was, Jim. A tremendous atmosphere out there. Great atmosphere. I think we
there on table with the blue bays. That's Alex Evrenadis. And I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Alex. In his opposition here, Mick McGoldrick. Very seasoned campaigner is Mick. And over to the green table, representing Scotland. And at the table right now, Ross McInnes. In fact, Ross is the Scottish captain, and he'll be playing against Jack Halligan from Australia. Well, as Ross is the captain of the Scottish team, we'll kind of hang tough here for a little bit. See how he kicks things off. And Kevin, I'm sure you know both of these players' games very well.
Yes, indeed. Jack, who's at the table, is a very hard player to beat. Well, Jack here is in a very favourable position on yellows. I think we'll possibly see him run out here.
And the first few frames in your match proved very important. A couple easy blacks missed by the Frenchman. And boy, they'd love to have had those over again.
Yes, Jim, I think it's very important to get off to a good start. Obviously, the first few frames are very important.
As well, the Australian side, the beaten finalists last year. So they've got the experience of having been there. And I'm sure they'd love nothing better than a shot at the team that put them out last season, the English team.
The actual rules that we are playing here, Jim, are very similar to the Australian rules. Just 1 or 2 minor changes.
Ross is pretty widely acknowledged as one of the faster players around. He's, I believe, a record holder of the world speed champion as far as pool players go.
That's right, Jim. I think he slowed his game down quite considerably. That's a great shot.
There you have a look at both tables in action simultaneously. We'll just dip back to the blue table for a minute. An Australian player apparently putting a lot of time and concentration into this shot.
30 seconds blue table.
Very early days in this second semifinal. The first team to accumulate 14 frame wins will go through the final. Certainly these early frames play a big part in establishing momentum, and certainly very evident there. Well, obviously Ross McInnes leaving the venue. Well, appears that he stakes Scotland to a 1-0 advantage.
That's right. They'll be looking to build up a steady lead.
Come on, Rosie, come on.
Well, 2 visits. That's quite a clever shot there from Mick. Left the Australians on the red balls. Looks as though it's touching ball. So he needs to play to a cushion with his first shot.
30 seconds blue table.
Scotland break.
Second visit.
Come on, Ozzy.
I think we'll just see Alex here play another safety shot. I don't believe that's what he intended to play.
Steve Seabum for the Team Australia. And he's up against Dave Linton from Scotland.
That means slow down, by the way. Red ball's in play.
And that's Steve at the table now. Sorry, Dave. Blue waistcoats, the Scottish team. I'll try and remember that for the future.
Come on.
30 seconds green table.
As you can see, Scotland surmising the situation while the action continues over on the blue table. Let's see, Australian Alex Evernadis looks to be in with a glorious chance to tie this match up.
Yes, Jim, we should level the game from here. Yes, and it's come perfect.
You see it, 1-1. The Australians happy to get their first frame on the board. I guess it's fair to say that the Australians, having been to the finals last year, might be slight favorites here. But from the people I've talked to, Kevin, there's really not a lot in it between these two sides.
No, I spoke to both teams, Jim, before I came in here. And the Aussies are very fired up. They fancy themselves to make the final.
One's okay.
Thirty seconds, green table.
And the timer just warning the Scottish player that 30 seconds has elapsed. Remember, players with 1 minute with which to play their shot. Straight over to the blue table for the break.
Open table.
Australia's Kelvin Lee up against Pat Holtz from Scotland.
What I have noticed during the games with the French is that when we broke the puck, not very often the ball went in.
Playing on yellow balls.
With which you're familiar, usually knocking balls in off the breaks, are they?
That's right. In the prelims, every time we broke, there was some clearances from the break regularly. Now against France, that never happened.
30 seconds, green table.
Possibly saving your best for the final.
Yeah, I hope so.
Foul. 2 visits.
In this frame, very quickly developing into a tactical battle, as is quite often the case when the balls look very scrappy. The best thinker could well find the finish line first.
Well, that's a great opening shot from Pat. Puts himself in a very favourable position here. Still got the one shot in hand, so takes things pretty steady. It could be 2-1 to Scotland.
Come on.
Must be very difficult for players to maintain that high level of concentration that's required. I mean, there's not a lot of distance between these two tables that are in play at the very same time. And obviously, there's a pretty good indication of it right there. He's just bumped into the referee. And obviously, with the crowd noise,
Second visit.
my hat really goes off to them.
It's okay.
30 seconds, green table.
Couple good positional shots now, Kevin, and Scotland could be seeing a 2-1 advantage.
Yeah, just needs to keep control of the white here. Slight stun. Should make this down the rail, Jim. They're pretty good pockets.
Right shot.
Screwed that slightly farther than he would have liked, but should still make this putt.
Well, they used the whole pocket and the red beside it. But it's 2-1 to Scotland, and will soon be back with us to see if they can increase their lead. Welcome back to the Manchester Crowne Plaza for the continuation of the Embassy Team Championship. The score now stands at Australia 2, Scotland 3. The Australian team knowing full well they've traveled an awful long ways to go out before the final stages. One of them, in fact, I was talking to a little earlier, said they didn't come here to buy a dress, Kevin.
That's right, Jim. They take the pool really seriously when they're at the table, but they're a great set of lads away from it.
I'm Australian. Come on, mate. Come on, Dylan.
30 seconds, green table.
Come on, Martin. Come on. Come on.
Seem to be getting into another tactical game here. I feel as the games go on, the tactical side must favour the Australians.
Mick representing Australia. Like nothing better than to pull even at 3 frames apiece. He's got an awful lot of work ahead of him. Scottish team willing their compatriot on. And certainly an awful lot different. Scottish team willing their compatriot on. And certainly an awful lot different than what I'm accustomed to playing professional snooker. The boys come up and pat me on the back and give me a little vote of confidence. That's exactly what happens in 8-ball pool here.
30 seconds, green table.
An awful lot of pride at stake. And they've just broken off on the blue table. That's Phil Hulley from Australia. He's opposing Derek Murphy, trying to carry the Scottish flag high.
Yellow ball's in play.
Come on, come on.
Yes, Phil Hulley actually, Jim, got to the quarterfinals of the individual event last year. Lost out to Nigel Davis, but put up a really good performance. I myself actually played him in the last round. Came through 7-4 in a very good match.
They're always good matches when you're at the right end, eh, Kevin?
That's right, Jim. I don't know what it's like to lose yet.
Back over to the green table. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. Tremendous shot, that one from Scotland. Martin Shade just requiring red and black. Black going in, re-establishing Scotland's two-frame advantage. They now lead Australia 4-2. Pretty happy bunch of Scottish boys there. Again, confirmation, 4-2 to Scotland.
Seconds, blue table.
Derek Murphy negotiating a plant. Could have finished a little better. But it's certainly got to be comforting for him, knowing that his country is holding that two-frame advantage. It's not quite as much pressure on his shoulders. Mind you couldn't tell him that.
Come on, Australia. Come on, Australia. Come on. Come on over.
This has to be a lot different too, Kevin. We were talking earlier, the team championships, you're at the table for one frame as opposed to in the individual battle that you will be taking up tomorrow. You've got a couple to get your feet wet and work out the early jitters.
That's right, Jim. In the team event, obviously just playing one frame, it's very difficult to relax. Obviously just playing one frame, it's very difficult to relax and get your Q arm going. There is an awful lot of pressure out there. Unlike the individuals, it's over more frames, you know, you can relax and get down to the job.
Come on, Scotty, come on.
Good look at the venue here, the Crown Plaza in Manchester, with this 1994 Embassy World Pool Team Championships.
30 seconds, blue table.
30 seconds, green table.
Well, there you go. Coincidental warnings from the timekeeper.
I was actually asking for the ball to be clean, Jim.
Well, you see that an awful lot in professional snooker, but I'll be honest, that's the first time I've seen it here. I hope he's got something to mark that white with. And how many times have I seen Len Ganley do this?
Thirty seconds, blue table.
Avellino de Freitas representing Australia here. He'll be trying to put away Jeff Mathieson from Scotland.
That's a great shot he's just played there, Jim. Just developed another two of his reds. Puts himself in a very strong position here.
30 seconds, blue table.
Come on, Jet. Come on, Jet.
Unfortunate on the miss, but lucky in another sense. It's tied up one of the yellows. Back over to the blue table. Derek Murphy looking to give Scotland a three-frame advantage. He's done just that. Good young player, shows a lot of promise. He's just staked his country to a three-frame lead, 5 frames to 2, and we'll have more action after the break.